Hey everybody, welcome. It's Ty Hicks, results coach, national influence trainer, founder of Mastering Ethical and Lasting Influence, as well as Financial Mastery University. Thank you so much for being here. And today I wanted to tackle a subject that is pretty near and dear to my heart, and a very important one that I think every single person who would consider themselves a leader needs to hear. And the real reality is we're all leaders, right, in our different areas. I don't care who you are. I don't care whether you're a team member of one. I don't care whether you're leading your child or you need to be someone who is creating a leadership experience in your relationship with your romantic partner. You're trying to cooperatively lead towards a shared vision of your relationship. I don't care if you're a boss or an employee, a team member, or a team leader. The reality is that there are people who are looking to you as an example every single day of your life. And what I wanted to share with you is a key insight that I really got from my time working with tens of thousands of volunteers and paid leaders through my work in the nonprofit industry. And it's something I've seen time and time again that occurs also with my high performance clients. And the concept is this. You're not always in control of what happens to you. But if you always define your life experience through a lens of responsibility, then you have the capacity to react. You have the ability, therefore, to decide what it means to you and decide what you will derive from it. And I think that that matters so much more than what actually occurs in your life. You know, Anthony Robbins, he has this great quote. He says, it's not your conditions that matter so much as your decisions. And I think that that's absolutely true. It goes without saying that individuals are born in this world with different resources, with different ease of access to those resources. But how many times have you heard stories of individuals who came from nothing, and that very fact became the method of inducing resilience inside of their mind, where they would not have been the same but for the fact that they started out with so little. And that is what caused them to grow to have so much and to give beyond themselves in such a profound way. See, I hear people using language patterns all of the time that create a lens around their experience of the world that defines their life in what I like to call passive terms, meaning that they claim external blame. They claim that the situation in their life is not their responsibility, that it wasn't their fault. And while there may be a sense in which that is true, my proposition to you is that it is not useful for you to engage in any mentality or language pattern that describes your life experiences in any sense of prescribing them in a sense of external blame. Rather, what you should be doing is taking extreme ownership over every single element of what is going right and what is going wrong in your life. You know, leading a multi-million-dollar organization that serves hundreds of thousands of members, there was always somebody somewhere that wasn't doing what they were supposed to do, right? That was just the reality. But the point is, and I didn't do this all of the time, you know, it's something that I tried to continuously improve my integrity on. But whenever things were going wrong, and when all of a sudden others were looking around going, whose fault is this? Who owns this? I would always try to pride myself on saying, I'm here to provide a solution. I own this. I'm a member of this organization. I'm a leader, even though another staff member or another volunteer or whomever created the mistake, created the solution. It's on me, because ultimately that's where the buck stops. And because I'm assuming that ownership, a couple profound things began to happen. Number one, I was given trust. Because all of a sudden I'm saying, I am going to fix this. I own it. I'm not putting this on anybody else, but instead it's going to be something that I'm going to follow through to fruition on. That's something that all of a sudden can give credibility to my position. And it can enable me to be empowered to have resources to actually fix the problem. The other thing is it provides an incredible example for others to take ownership over their own spheres of influence. And additionally, what it does is it moves me out of the realm of stress and moves me into a realm of blissful action. Because all of a sudden, the problem is not beyond myself to control. And that's the big thing I want you to understand is you can define your life in terms of external blame. You can blame anybody. You can blame an event. You can blame another person. You can do all those things. And that's really convenient because those people or those things are not there to defend themselves and say, no, it's actually you. But the reality is if you want to have a life of impact and fulfillment, it doesn't benefit you to ever talk in terms outside of your own responsibility. To take extreme ownership for things is the ability to react to your conditions, to make a new decision, and to make things happen. As Ryan Holiday would say, the obstacle becomes the way. If you try something, it doesn't work, it gets you closer to figuring out what does work. And so long as you are coming from that lens of commitment and responsibility, there's nothing outside of your sphere of influence. When you create a map of meaning in the mind that says, I am not responsible for this outcome, you have no capacity to change it. You've created a horrible example, and you are probably less emotionally fulfilled, and you know you're bullshitting yourself at some level as well. So that's my piece to you, is what in your life is not going how you want it to go? And are you taking extreme levels of ownership for that? Because if you're not, then you're not going to be able to have the power to change it. And so you can stay enslaved to your limiting patterns of psychology that are keeping you in this story that says, oh, it's not my fault. But that's never going to fulfill you. That may keep you from acknowledging the deep-rooted truth of saying, it's on me. But because you're ignoring that truth, you will never have the capacity to change it, which means that you will die by 1,000 deaths. Meaning, every single day you'll die a little inside, like a little stab wound that says, I'm dissatisfied with where things are at right now, and I'm not shifting it. So get out of that horrible no man's land of being dissatisfied, but not dissatisfied enough where you say, this is a must, and I'm shifting this right now. Get into that place of action and ownership, and all of a sudden the entire game changes. I hope this is helpful to you. Start taking responsibility. Go out there and make your difference today.